Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, on a very sunny Thursday morning. And I'm all alone. My wife has gone to Barcelona. No, the other one, Benidorm, somewhere beginning with B. Anyway, she's in Benidorm. I'm all alone, apart from me and my dog, and so we're having a grand old time. I was concerned that I'd be late starting today because I thought, I'm going to have some beers tonight. No wife. Turns out that 3 beers was exactly the amount I needed before watching a film and going to bed early. Oh, the exciting life of a middle-aged man, I tell you. It's all humdingery and rock and roll in this house. Anyway, we're going to start with a very good story, a positive story, and one that will ever so slightly annoy the SNP. Because Stirling has secured funding, and this will create jobs, quality jobs, in the creative industries, because there is a new high-tech film studio opening in Stirling on old MOD land that's been repurposed. So you've got these big open spaces, lots of buildings and things. And so this company's come in, and with a bit of backing, and this is where it's going to really annoy the SNP, Westminster government backing, and given them a load of money to set this up, and we have a new film film studios with all the necessary infrastructure in place opening up. Fantastic news. But funded from Westminster. Because the SNP would never do it, would they? Not unless they were directing the films, that is. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this to see this little bit of good news. What a wonderful start to the day. Here goes. So Stirling nets huge union boost as high-tech film studio to be built on former Ministry of Defence land thanks to Westminster funding. And it's that bit, those last 2 words, of course, that will ultimately annoy everyone in the SNP, because it's like, well, this only happened because of London. It would never have happened in Scotland. They'll say, oh yes, we could have done it, but you could have, but didn't. I'm sure that the people involved applied to you and were told, no, we don't have the cash. But they've applied to London and said, sure, go ahead. Always good and great to help the creative industries. And being creative is hard. If ever you've filmed, if ever you've done any acting or worked behind the camera on the production side, you'll know it's actually hard work. It is all adult pretenders, but, having been there and done it, and you're shooting the same scene 19 times, and you're having to remember that every cue is there, and you have to do the same thing every time so that the continuity is correct and things like that. It's hard work. Anyway, the Labour-led local authority is set to invest millions in former Ministry of Defence land at Forthside, which will become Stirling Studios, with Westminster levelling up funding being utilised to attract TV and film production amid Outlander being filmed close by. I watched some of that in the early series. It sort of drifted off after a while, but it was quite good. I do like it. I don't know why I stopped watching it. I think it was the gap between series went too long. I couldn't get back. I think that's all it is. They're all back. I should really go back and watch them all. Anyway, a Scottish city is set to be swooped on by movie and TV stars, thanks to substantial funding from the UK government. Westminster cash has went towards construction of Stirling Studios, which will become one of the biggest film studio campuses in the country. Now, of course, when you get these things, it isn't just a bunch of lovies turning up and shooting scenes. You have a lot of jobs involved. And these are quality jobs because you've got all the technical jobs. Sound, lighting, camera pulley, dollies. You have the construction, the people actually have to make the sets, you have carpenters, electricians, and so forth. So you're getting all the trades, you're getting all the technical side of things. You've got all the services. Oh, and let me tell you, craft services are very important. That means mainly food, but also other things. You see, there's a lot of people involved. You only have to look at the end of a film to see all the jobs involved. When you're seeing hundreds and hundreds of names going up. That's jobs for everyone. And it is intensive, and that's why TV costs so much, or films cost so much. When they talk about a £200 million film, everyone whose name is on that roll at the end has to be paid. Things add up, So it creates a lot of jobs. But then not only does it create the jobs within the production itself, you've got jobs within the process that aren't production jobs. You're going to have maintenance people. You're going to have supply chains and things like that. It creates a lot of jobs. It'll put a lot of money into the area. That money then gets spent out in the third sector, so bars, pubs, clubs, cinemas, whatever, creating jobs there, creating wealth into Stirling there. Stirling will see a massive uplift in its economy. This is a good thing. But it's not something that the SNP could ever have done. They don't have the money. They've got £45 million to buy speed signs, but they don't have a penny to invest in Scottish film and movie facilities. So they can clamp down on rights and freedoms, but they can't create jobs and grow an economy. And that, of course, is the most telling part of the SNP. Anyway, the high-tech premises will be built on the former MOD land at Forthside, which I mentioned. Deeds for the land have been transferred to the Labour-led council through Stirling and Clackmannanshire City Region deal, which was signed by both the local authorities, along with the University of Stirling and the UK and Scottish governments, and it's worth £214 million. Now that is a lot of money. Getting on for £250 million. It's being handed over basically to local authorities, and they're creating this huge film campus. It's fantastic. Levelling up funding, totaling nearly £20 million from Westminster, will also be utilised for the project. Stirling Council leader Chris Kane said, "Stirling Studios brings one of those rare moments in Stirling's history, which offers the potential to be truly transformational. We have an opportunity to embed an industry in our city, which will bring thousands of high-skilled jobs and put us on a global creative map and deliver a significant economic boost to the region over many decades," which is what I've just said. But this wouldn't have been possible, of course, without the MOD in London being willing to pass this land over free of charge, effectively, to the local councils involved, plus the investment money coming from Westminster to actually build the main part of the studios. It is going to be a marvellous thing. Now, in my previous life as an accountant for a house builder, we owned Cardington Hangars, two of the biggest buildings in the country. You can hide the Goodyear blimp inside that, and I'm not kidding, you couldn't find it. That's how big these buildings are. And they've turned the right one, as you're looking at the front of them, the right one is Warner Brothers studio, and they filmed Batman in there. All three of them were filmed in there. And that scene in the second one, when they're racing through the tunnels and he's got the rocket blaster and he's aiming at the car, he's in the back of the van. They didn't do that on a road. They built that road in Cardington Studios. That's how big they are. So when you see these things, they're just fantastic. So it's going to bring an absolute boost to Stirling. And to be honest, Stirling needs it. Anyway, it's just, it's massive. We're going here. It'll be 100,000 square feet of studio space and 110,000 square feet for production, logistics and office space at the site. It will allow the city to attract major TV and movie productions. The likes of Outlander is filmed nearby, and BBC Scotland have produced a number of crime dramas in Aberdeen and Dundee. The UK Minister for Scotland, John Lamont, said, "Scotland and the UK are true film and TV production success stories, and the creation of Stirling Studios to add to the high-quality portfolio of content being produced on these shores is brilliant news." And it absolutely is. Fantastic. Well done, Stirling. I wish you all the best of luck. And I hope that going forward, you make a lot of high quality stuff that continues to attract inward investment and make Stirling Studios one of the world top filmmaking attractions. I'll stop there and come up and we'll finish the video. As I say, it's not often you get to bring such good news, and it is very nice and very positive to start the day on something excellent like this. And we do wish them well, but it will be absolute boon for Stirling to have this, because all these people coming, all these people making stuff, all that money flooding into these studios, everyone's employed, you're getting outside supply lines and everything, jobs created, and that also all that extra cash in there will flood into the local economy. It'll boost everyone there, and it's just a fantastic news for Scotland. So for once, well done everyone involved. But you notice that the SNP weren't. That's telling. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the like button. I think this one deserves a like button because it's such good news. And I will speak to you later. Bye.